All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the beginning of what's going to be the Indy Car Series. The loud grinding behind me is icy's being made. You see Garrett up there in the upper right-hand portion of your screen. Also, our main sponsor for the upcoming late model series race here later on this evening at 7 o'clock, Ohio Valley Lawn Care. Call him for all your needs for lawn care, and he'll definitely get you mowed up and ready to go. Also, we'll see Randy Kirtley, Jay Latham, and Glenn Burden there lining up. Of course, Randy and Glenn both representing their L&P Thunder shirts that they got from previous season in the L&P Thunder Series. If you're interested in joining into the series, there is still time. You got probably 2 months right at it, but each time that you're waiting, that's one less race that you can run. So definitely come and check it out and get involved. We got another little kids race going on in the background there on the orange track. They'll be rounding up, getting done here pretty shortly. Then we're going to get started with the Pro Series on the Indy Car. So stay tuned with us. I'm going to leave you here with the kids finishing up their race here. Of course, the TrackMate not showing their current times. I guess I can go ahead and do that real quick as they're fixing to be done here. So right now the kids, looks like Josh C out in the lead with 140, Jaden with 134. Max P 99 and Marley with 86 there, and they got 57 seconds left to go. And it's a rental car race that they're doing here, as you can tell. I'm going to leave you guys with that. I'm going to go out and talk to the IndyCar racers. I'll be right back with you. All right, so it looks like Josh C is going to take home the victory there. And as we can tell right now, our racers are ready. We're going to go ahead and get into this and start the race. All right, racers, watch your lights. Well, first off, I need to do a little bit of work here and get the oval PC back up and running. There we go. All right. Here we go. All right, now I got everything under control here. We're going to start off our race here on the red lane. Looks like Randy Kirtley on white, Jay Latham on green, and Glenn Burton on orange. Right out of the gate, Randy Kirtley there in the lead. As we see what seems to be Garret Burton there coming to the outside, catching a little bit of the berm there. His car popping off there. Now, of course, the rule states whatever cars come off, they need to go in front of the start-finish line. In other words, they don't get their lap, folks. That's the punishment of hitting the button, as we want to kind of keep the progress going. And maybe this will make it where people want to kind of slow down, take their time, make it happen right, everything go good. Wife's making ices, so I'm just going to kill the mic whenever she is so we don't hear a lot of that. 1 second, folks. So all of them investigating what's going on with the red lane currently, as it seems that Garrett's car just keeps coming out right there every lap. Something's going on there for sure, whether it be his car or it be the track. Hopefully somebody will check his car and see if there's something up with that. Looks like several people here looking over to see what's going on with the track, possibly Garrett's car. Hopefully it ain't bent. All the racers heading back to their stations. Looks like we're going to be getting going underway green here. Folks, looks like a brief red flag condition here, possible something up with the car. We'll be right back with you just as soon as we know more. All right, folks. So as you see, we're back green racing. Evidently, Garrett had a wire up underneath the car, so Randy opted to help fix his car there and help it run a little bit better. And it looks like it's doing tremendously better now. As we can see, Glenn Burton now out in the lead with 24 laps, followed by Randy Kirtley with 25, Jay Latham with 23, and Garrett with 17. Every single one of these cars running the exact same gear ratio. That's why you're seeing these cars kind of clump up a little bit and hardly ever gain anything. Same principle behind the GRC that we just got done running. We've got several classes in the Four Crowns that are locked down. GRC, late model, and of course our Indy Car Series. The difference being that every other week the Indy Car is going to either be ran on the oval or the orange. They will rotate. The wing car will never rotate, and neither will the Fairview IT Management Cup Series. And the late model, Ohio Valley Late Model Series will not rotate either. But the GRC and the Indy cars will. As we can see, Randy Kirtley there now gaining back the lead there with 58 laps. Jay Latham with 53. And Garrett Burton now gaining a little bit here as he just jumped into the 50s there, about 5 laps down from Jay Latham, gaining quite a few laps there. So Garrett's car pretty quick, as we can tell here. Looking at the track mate here, Randy Kirtley with 63, Glenn Burton 63, Jay Latham 57, and Garrett with 52. So 5 laps now. So Garrett, definitely his tee time coming up a little bit there as we go into the next heat. Going to swap over here to the oval. You can see these guys kind of tinkering around, working on their cars. Be right back with you whenever we're ready to go green. All right, looks like we're back green racing here. I had to step away from the booth just for a second. But back in the mix here, Randy Kirtley, Glenn Burton having a battle here. 1v1, it looks like. Jay Latham not too far behind, and Garrett Burton there trying to creep up a little bit if he can. So we can kind of focus in here on the Ohio Valley Lawn Care owner on Green Lane. We can see he's trying to make a move on the outside of Blue Lane at Jay Latham. That's his next direct competition here. Not being able to do it, kind of getting stuttered up there a little bit in Dead Man's Corner. Mostly just going to have to try to rely on some other guys to come off the track here to gain up some position here. But his car definitely running quite well here now after Randy Kirtley has made the modifications. As both of these racers, Jay and Garrett, come to pass on the inside of Glenn Burden there on White Lane, Garrett's going to have to make a pretty aggressive move, and he does so right there through Dead Man's Corner. Both of these guys going through there nice clean. We can see that these guys are definitely not of the rookie variety, as they were both able to go through Dead Man's Corner without too much of interference here. Now Glenn Burden there on White Lane coming up against Randy Kirtley. Randy Kirtley passed him on the outside as Glenn Burden takes a hit there in Dead Man's Corner. Jay Latham, of course, going to have to grab that car and put it in front of the start-finish line. Like I said, anyone involved in the wreck, if that was to like took out Randy Kirtley right there, for instance, Randy would be coming back also. Doesn't matter. If there's a car off, it goes in front of the line. That's just to negate any kind of confusion. I know it doesn't seem like it's all that fair, but that's the way it is. Sounds like we got a gear strip in there. Ladies and gentlemen, that might be a stripped gear. That's what it sounds like anyway. See, you might be taking an order on a gear here in the next few seconds. So it's either going to be blue, it'll be a blue JK most likely. Yeah, blue JK. So the screws must have came loose on the motor and slipped it back. Beans were not pressed for a whole lot of time here, just now getting started. I think we're plenty good time-wise. So this may open us up too, so that guys can have a little more time to work on their cars in the future. I know from the previous season it was 30 seconds, and that was it. Someone reiterate to me what the rules are here now. I couldn't tell you right offhand. I can take a quick look at our website and see, but I know the guys made a vote earlier to fix his car up without him taking any kind of hit, being that there's only 4 racers. So that was kind to the racers, and you know, I let them overrule when it comes to rules like that if they're all in agreement. For the most part, ladies and gentlemen, these guys just want somebody to race with, and they hate to see somebody get knocked out so early on, especially if it could have been negated. So I'm going to reiterate back to the rules here and see if I can find any information about it. You'd think I'd have this stuff memorized. Well, I don't. Nonetheless, I'm looking it up right now as we're waiting on them to fix his car. We'll go over the Lanes Raceway track rules together here. It says the following rules will be enforced for everyone. These rules are in place for all racers at Lanes Raceway. Everyone in the race must turn marshal when sitting out. You are only allowed to work on your car during the 3-minute lane rotation. All cars during the set out must be placed in the cutout window going into the shop while race is running. If you do not turn marshal during the sit out, 50 laps will be deducted from your race per heat, and you will miss being a turn marshal. All racers as well as track directors should enforce this rule. 2 or 5-minute heats. 3-minute lane rotations during 3 minutes. You are able to work on your car in the pit area. All cars should be on track before this timer is over. Timer will be displayed on all TVs during the race. All set-outs must have their car in the cutout window by shop before the time expires and ready to turn marshal. 50-lap penalty will appear if the car is not in the window. Place identifiable sticker on the side of the track when you sit out the race. with additional heats left. This will be required if you are on the same lap as someone else. If no sticker is on the track, you will be scored at the start line of the lap you are on. Track timer will only be delayed if someone is in the bathroom or a fast gear adjustment, 30 seconds. Extensive repair of the car will not be waited on. You are able to put your car on the track after repairs are made. Track calls will be minimal as possible. Driver track call buttons, when in use, all cars off the track and the buttons pressed by the driver will be directly in front of the lap counter. If a driver presses the button and their driver is on the track, false track call, the drivers will be placed directly in front of the lap counter. No running, no fighting. This is a hobby. Have fun. If you have a suggestion of rules, please let us know. All sections may have additions or changes. And I guess in this instance, I'm going to go ahead and make a change to the rule. If all of those vote and we have time, or it looks like we're going to have time to run all the races, we will allow the racers to make a vote to allow bigger adjustments to their car. Like I said, when we first started this, we thought we might be pressed for time, just going off of what we had for the LMP Thunder Series. But man, I'll tell you what, this thing's going smooth as butter. 2-minute heats, really not a big deal. We're already in our second heat here with 30 seconds left to go. You know, we have allotted 2 hours for this race. So we don't have to start till 5 o'clock for the Ohio Valley Dirt Late model. We're making plenty of good time. So I think we might just go ahead and make this an addition to it. If it's voted and all the guys are good with, you know, letting the person get their car fixed on, we'll do it. But under normal circumstances, this would be a violation of the rules, and we would go ahead and continue counting down after 30 seconds, just as previously done in the LMP Thunder Series. Like I said, ain't no reason in hurt. What's that? I know, man. I legit have tried to refresh chat. Let me try to do a workaround. Tell her I'm gonna try a workaround. Just tell her to keep sending something. I don't know. So I just got a message, or Jay telling me that Alicia and them were trying to get through on chat. Like I said, for some reason or another, everything here, I wish I could show you this screen I see. So it says it's listening to Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously here. But for some reason or another, every single one of these is not working. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of a workaround here, and we'll see if we can get that up and running. The racers are going back green racing. I'm going to try a workaround. Bear with me, y'all, as we continue. So as you can see, I'm working on a workaround right now. So this is going to mess with the screen just a smidge to try to get this up and going. Sorry about that. And my mouse is acting really funky. It's kind of irritating, to be honest. All right, folks, I believe right now, all right, Alicia, I see you coming through on YouTube currently right now. So that workaround's working for YouTube. Let me see if I can get another workaround going for Facebook and Twitch. But I do see Alicia got it saying testing, and that come through at 3:32. So it looks like Facebook Live, we're having issues with their actual comments section. We'll go ahead and remove that. Add another source here. As Alicia says, I was commenting, I like the live stream. Now my chat's in the way. There we go. I like the live stream display and the camera angles of the track also. Go Jay. Yeah, Jay, holding down third position right now, Alicia. I'm hoping I can get this stream chat viewer to work. If I can get it to work, it's like a all the way around fix. It doesn't seem to want to connect for some reason. So it looks like Facebook is giving us an issue, and that's just not going to work. And this happens sometimes. Facebook just has problems with these live streaming services, and it does not want you to use them. Right now, currently trying to connect to Twitch. Hopefully that will work. It says I've already added this channel, but for some reason or another, not going live. All right, it looks like YouTube's what we're looking at, folks. YouTube will be our chat for the foreseeable future until they can update this stuff. In the meantime, just bear with us, as could be some issues later on. You all know by now how much trouble we have out of the chat, just not ever wanting to work. Trying to straighten some stuff up here a little bit. There we go. T, we need to change this. This guy's up here cussing. Put it on a pinball competition up here for me to watch later. So it looks like we're having some more, well, no, we're not having issues, actually. Sorry about that. The guys and the gals have already finished up their round rotation there. As we can see, 58 seconds left to go. I'm going to take a small break here, and I'll be right back with you. Oh, here we go. 2 seconds left to go before we go green. You can see there in the bottom right-hand corner of our screen there, just a little bit of a secondary angle there. Now, that's coming off of the computer out there by the VR setup. It's actually just a webcam that we got angled there at Dead Man's Corner. I know it's kind of a little small angle here. I try to get all this stuff put together in like 3 or 4 days. Believe it or not, September was supposed to be a week or a month that we were going to have a lot of time to work on stuff. But man, it was hectic here at Lanes Raceway. Several things going on. We added several things like the competitions with the iRacing and stuff like that, going commercial with it. And the pinball tournaments, man, what a surge of people really wanting to do that. So it's been quite busy, both here and at the house. We got a new puppy. You guys seen that from the previous stream that we had. But got a little stuff done. Let's just put it that way. Got some stuff done. Of course, last weekend we went to the Lemons race with, I think it was called the Colonel and the Sinkhole there in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and they ended a 24-hour race. Of course, the car ended up breaking. They've had a lot of issues with the transmission and the way that the car handles and stuff as of late. So kind of disappointing, but we got a lot of good footage. Me and the wife planning on doing somewhat of a small, and I mean small, documentary of what it's kind of like to do some of the friendly type racing like that, just to get your nose wet when it comes to road racing in the beginning levels. But there's always somebody out there watching, and that's how people step up in the racing world. So, it's kind of cool that if you just wanted to get into racing like that, there's always some kind of racing you can get involved in, whether it be slot car racing, road racing, or whatever. Randy Curley out in the lead right now by 6 laps. Jay Latham biting at the bit now, coming from third place to second. Garrett and Glenn having themselves somewhat of a little battle now, 176, 172, as we see Jay Latham putting Randy Curley in front of the line there as he came off. Oh, well, it actually wasn't Randy Curley. It was Glenn Burden, so I'm putting Glenn Burden up there. Very much a punishment in a weird way, but at the same time, it's kind of paying back the person that has to get the car set up, as we get what seems to be a body tuck there on red lane from Glenn Burden. Glenn able to get that done, and that's another rotation right there, folks. Funny thing is, in this series that we're running now, 2-minute heats is what we run. They get 3 minutes to work on their car, so there's plenty of time to make sure that all their stuff is running pretty good here. I need to get me some more songs here from Epidemic Sound. We bought a I guess Enterprise, is that what it is? No, business account with Epidemic Sound, so that we can have a little bit of music in the background, kind of keep it a little bit lively, so that not all you're hearing is me. Plus, we've been caught a few times with our music here in the shop that plays copyrighted music, and it makes it where it mutes a lot of our content. So with this, it keeps us from getting muted. It kind of overplays some of the music that's actually playing here at Lanes Raceway, so that it doesn't get picked up, and that's a good thing, because we don't want y'all hearing that music, because if you do, that means it's going to mute our broadcast here. So just a few extra added things, and we were able to do that because of our sponsors, and we are very, very proud and happy of our sponsors for doing that. They help the racers out. As you guys know, our sponsorships 100% payout to our racers. For Fairview IT Management, I'm going to tell you right now, my brother runs that show, and the guys that he's got with him, man, they are geniuses when it comes to computers. So definitely check them out if you're in the local area, around Bowling Green, all the way to Livermore, really, in that general circle there, if you want to make it. I guess he would go even further than that. I know he does some work in Nashville and stuff, I think with the Tennessee Titans and stuff like that too, but very, very prestigious company, and very knowledgeable. There's not anything that this computer can do that my brother can't figure out there at Fairview IT Management. One of our big sponsors, adding $1,000 to the purse to the Cup Series. So if you're interested in getting in the Cup Series, there's still time. Come on down, get in it. But I will tell you, there is no drops in this series. So if you're not here today, it's just going to be one race you're not going to be able to compete in. Ohio Valley Lawn Care, our second big sponsor, and that sponsors for the late model series. As you can see here, just right here above me. And that is Garret Burden. You see him right there next to Jay Latham. That is his lawn care service, and they do an immaculate job mowing and taking care of lawns, even through the winter, I've heard. Like, he will actually go out to people's place and make sure that their lawns are taken care of during the winter to make sure it's got a good upstart for the springtime. And I'll tell you what, it's hard to beat a guy like Garrett. He's always smiling. I don't think I've ever seen the man upset. So definitely somebody you would want to do your lawn for sure. We actually got my parents' lawns, and they got a couple lawns that they do, and Garrett is mowing the lawns for them. So thankful for that. That also adds $1,000 to the late model series for all those involved in it. So, you know, we love our racers and we love to give back to them. And like I said, all that extra money that comes in, they get to reap the benefits of it, and we love to watch them race. I know you out there in internet land love to watch them race too. We see Garrett now taking over Lynn Burden there, now 195 laps there on Purple Lane, tied up with Lynn currently as we get a wreck taking place. So they're going to be in front of the start-finish line here. As we can see, a minute and 28 seconds left to go. I'm going to take you guys over to the big screen. I'll be right back with you. All right, folks, so I'm back. Let's take a quick look here at the track mate. We can see these guys running very, very competitively in the 60-second or 60-lap time frames here. Jay Latham having somewhat of a hiccup there on Blue Lane with 63, but as we can tell, so far Glenn Burton having a little bit of a struggle there. Garrett, of course, having a struggle early on there with 52 laps, but he's kind of coming into his own there. 57 tied up with Jay Latham there on orange, 68 and 68, which are respectful, while one lap down from what Randy Kirtley's turning. So it's all boiling down basically to trigger action and whether or not these guys are coming off the track. Nonetheless, we're going to take the camera over there and watch them work a little bit, as we'll be back with you in about 1 minute and 30 seconds. you can see we're back racing. Randy Kirtley got a small lead when it comes to Jay Latham. Jay Latham making a move, though, it seems. There are 15 total laps there on yellow. Randy Kirtley, of course, being down low, is going to make quite a few laps. Him and Garret Burden there neck and neck with each other. 168 and a 170. Literally 100th now of a second difference separated between Randy and Garret. Both these cars running almost identical with each other. Basically, don't come off the track, because if you do, that's where people are going to capitalize. Jay Latham, of course, coming off right there, and also Garret, as they're going to go ahead and lose a little bit of time there. Sometimes it's better just to run a little bit slower to what your car can handle versus pushing the subject. But Randy Kirtley, he's tough, folks. He's going to be tough to wreck for sure. Now, the bodies that we use in the Indy car are either Ralph Thorne or the, I believe, Red Fox. We allow those, and we also allow JK. Okay. I'll probably get that information from you, Gary. I'm over here later. But I'm hoping. Yeah, you got my number?
Best friends out there, yes.
Best friends?
No, not really. They just scratched me up with their long nails and that.
Well, they don't call you Gold Dust for nothing there, Jackson. Are you going to be getting into the Ohio Valley Dirt Lake Model race coming up at 5 o'clock?
Probably.
I like to hear more than probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just gotta show Jay. I ain't playing games no more.
Tell everybody out there in internet land what you just said.
Well, Jay's about to get smoked.
About to get smoked, huh?
I'm not playing games no more.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all heard that. The rivalry continues with Jay and Jackson for reasons unknown. I might even instigate it a little bit. Yeah, give me a reason here, Goldust. Come around here and give these people a reason why you and Jay are at each other's throats.
Because the only reason is because remember the last video you posted, the Rookie Rumble Awards?
Yeah?
He said I beat you.
He
I
did.
took that motivation. Motivation comes hard. And guess what? He wants to talk all that crap? Just wait. I got something literally in store just for that. I've been working on it.
What have you been working on, Jackson?
They don't call me Gold Dust for a reason, right?
Yeah, they do call you Gold Dust for a reason.
Because
you got dusted by a bunch of gold confetti.
That too. Okay, so I'm putting him in the wall. I'm going to throw Gold Dust in his eye and say, how does gold taste?
That might be an illegal action and a black flag condition for you, sir.
Hey, listen. Keep it on the level. Right?
Well, I mean, if Jay is like, hey, he just threw gold dust in my eye, I'm going to have to intervene. I might have to make a play on the field there. Yellow flag, red flag condition. And give you a black flag, sir.
What
in
heat
the
are we
pits.
on right now?
Right now, 5 of 8, sir.
All right, maybe sure. I don't want to be on y'all time.
Randy Kirtley in the lead, 333 laps. What a scorcher for him on purple. 72 laps turned. Minute and 45 seconds before we go back green. Heading over to Oval, you can watch these guys work on the cars, cool them off, and all that jazz. I'll be right back with you. 14 seconds left to go. Garrett just come up in here, gave me a little bit of tiddling information. So what happened to him earlier when we heard his gear kind of slip, he had the black engine screw come out of the bottom side of his motor. And I guess that made it loose enough that it was able to slip the gear mesh. Nonetheless, he's got her back under control. He's been having a lot of issues here the past couple of weeks. We've been trying to work some of them out. I think things have been going quite well for him. Other than that, just a few setbacks here and there, but that's what the preliminary racing's all about. Get those preliminary races done, and I'll tell you, make sure your car is good and going. If you can, everything will work out pretty well. So Garrett, of course, got several cars here running quite quick. We see him 1 lap difference between him and Jay Latham right now. So he's definitely got a car that's fast. So we'll see if he can increase that. Way the point structure goes now, if you all don't know, you can check out our structure on lanesraceway.com. It's even been pinned on Facebook. You can check it out there. But nonetheless, I'll give you just kind of a reiteration of what it is. We're not doing lap per point in this series. We are doing point system. So if you finish first place, it's 100 points. Second place is 95, 90, 85, 80. I believe when it hits 80 points, it's just reoccurring 80, 80, 80, 80 all the way down the spot. And this is in an attempt, for one, to make it easier on us as we're running multiple series here for the 4 Crowns, so that we're not trying to get things crossed up and I mess up the math and destroy everything and make people mad at me. And then the other is just simply because if you do miss a race, it's not as harsh on you to try to catch it up, because you're basically running for a position. And sometimes, people are going to blow up, and that gives you the leeway that you need. It should be a lot closer racing. The whole agenda here at Lanes Raceway, we're trying to find that beautiful spot to where everybody's racing neck and neck, and that they got creativity, and then at the same aspect that it makes it easy on us that we can do a streamlined, nice, beautiful race. And you know what? My brother came up with these ideas, the 5-second or 0.5 second delay, putting the car there, having the guys have all the power out there at the racetrack. And then on top of that, doing the point system to keep it simple. And I'll tell you what, folks, so far what I've been seeing is streamlined, good time. These guys are doing an impeccable job staying on, running great races here. 375 laps, Randy Curley, 355 for Garret Burden, Jay Latham 351, and Glenn Burden 349. So Randy Curley, of course, there. He's driving her quite deep there on Black Lane. 34 seconds left to go. We got a car come off the track here. Randy Curley's going to go ahead and grab it. It looks like Glenn Burden and Scott Dixon ride. It's going to get put in the start-finish line there. Of course, Jay was telling me that earlier he was talking to Alicia. That's how I knew the chat was messing up here. It says that she liked the live stream and screen display and stuff like that. It's a full remake. So last season we were going off of a previous season's stuff just to try to get it to go once we got the new computer up and going. This one's a complete remake, and I'll tell you what, we remade it from the ground up and even changed all the stream keys so it's fresh through Restream.io. And so far, in the 2 times that we've streamed, we've had 0 frames dropped, so that's been a blessing. So it should be coming in really, really clear. CPU 7%, GPU 28%. And we got a little added features. We got another camera here that we can rotate to the orange or the green, that we don't have to worry about IP addresses causing a stir. We also have, like I said, the Epidemic sound, just some background music just to keep you attentive, and nice beautiful background colors and stuff like that works quite well. 406 Randy Curley on average, 67.7 laps is what he turns per heat. Garret Burden there increasing his 63.8 right now, so he's coming up there, folks. really driving that car pretty hard there in the upper 60s. Jay Latham also in the upper 60s, except for a few heats where he's down in the 50s, 62.2 on average, and Glenn Burden the same way with a 62 average. Move over to the oval, it'll be about a minute or so before these guys go back green racing. But man, so far the IndyCar on the oval, pretty tight racing. Don't wreck. That will really mess up your tee times, really mess up your average. And I think that's what we're seeing, the separation is these wrecks are really separating our leaders. So they'll get used to it. They'll get their cars tuned up pretty well before the series is over with, and it'll be a battle for sure. Probably a bunch of cars ending up on the same lap and on the same, probably same board when it's all said and done. Minute 25 seconds. We'll be right back with you. Looks like we're having an issue here, folks, with Jay Latham's gear. He come in here, got a 37, so he's going to get that set up. I don't know whether it's the screws backing out or what it may be, but nonetheless, blue Loctite, Cofer blue Loctite will keep them in, folks. Guys, I'll tell you what, it is tough running Indy cars here at Lanes Raceway. Tracks are smooth and everything, but you got to think how fast these cars are going, slinging back and forth when they come out of Dead Man's Corner. It causes a lot of wear on some of these cars. So it's right now 4:10. We still have 50 minutes left to go, and we're in round robin 7 of 8. So we got plenty of time here, and this may be future. You know, I mean, I'd rather run a casual type thing as long as we have time. Only time I think we'd have to enforce the 30-second rule here is if we are getting close on time. But the way things are rolling, you know, as long as we get started on time, I don't think we'll have any issues whatsoever. And I think it'll keep the guys a little bit happier too. So we'll always try to do that. Of course, you know, some of the guys have issues with their cars every once in a while, need to bring them on in. Been watching some dirt racing here a lot of the times, and they'll throw a yellow flag, and the guys come in there and be able to change their tires out and go right back out to where they were at. So, you know, maybe we'll take a cue from that and help them out. Like I said, all these guys entering in to the 4 Crowns will receive a t-shirt when it's all said and done. Kind of similar to this one that I got on right now. This is from our LMP Thunder series, and you know, pretty good shirts. Like, I mean, I've already washed this one a couple times and it did not shrink, so we were pleased with that. Picture's falling off the wall. And I'm going to order from the same place. So I've already got a little bit of a template going of what I want it to look like. You can kind of see the Four Crowns little emblem I made there in Microsoft Paint. It's similar to that, but it's a little bit better detail on the hands holding the crown up, that's the master crown right there. That is the King of Lanes Raceway crown. It'll be very similar to that. But you see the silver crowns there below it. Those are the crowns for the individual race series. So we'll have one for Fairview IT Management Cup Series, one for the Wing Car Series, one for Ohio Valley Lawn Care Late Model Series, and one for the Indy Car Pro Series. If you were wondering, did I leave out GRC? I did not. GRC is a separate series here at Lanes Raceway from the Four Crowns. It's basically set for beginner to intermediate, and it holds the most races, 48 races, I think, a lot of races. Let's just put it that way. So nonetheless, it's a different series altogether, and it's a different price to get involved in that series. I think it's only $20 to get in to the series and $5 per race. So it's a little bit cheaper to get involved. It's really aimed towards the kids and stuff like that. So as we can see, a little bit of neck-to-neck racing here between Glenn Burden and Randy Kirtley there, side by side. Randy Kirtley coming in here earlier saying that he didn't really like how slow his car was rolling, but we can see Jay Latham. Looks like we have a disconnected session here, folks. Give me 1 second. Let me get that fixed. You see up there on your screen, Blast from the Past, October the 28th. Don't forget that date. Mark it in your calendars, folks, as we do plan on have the Blast from the Past there. Free pinball machines. We're going to have cotton candy for sale, some food, probably some dip dogs. I might make some dip dogs. We're going to have lemonade for sale. And we're going to have the Candy Gauntlet come back. I know you guys love the Candy Gauntlet. It's going to be coming back. And make those 3 laps. That's all I can tell you. Try to get you a big old bag of candy. Going to have a couple competitions going. We're going to have like a zombie blast-off type competition for kids and adults alike. And then we're going to have a racing competition and a free pinball tournament to get involved in. And there's going to be some prizes for that, of course. So definitely come and spend the day with us here at Lanes Raceway the 28th of October. 1 day only, but it's a pretty big event that we're planning, so it's going to be pretty fun. We're going to actually cordon off a couple of the parking areas outside so that we have enough room for people to do the VRs and stuff like that, and have a place to get their food and stuff without kind of being crowded by cars. Plus, I don't want people accidentally throwing one of the hand grips into some side of somebody's car and shattering glass. Who knows? But anyway, it's going to be an exciting time. Come on down, spend the day with us, have some fun. It's going to be a great time. Randy Kirtley out in the lead, 477, 448 to Garrett, and 442 Glenn Burden there, top 3. Jay Latham with 420 as he was able to get his car back in there, turning 47 laps there on White Lane. We're coming into the last heat here for the first time running the Indy Car Series here. Not too bad. I think there's still some improvement for certain individuals. Come across some expert information before we started here about picking motors at Lanes Raceway. So big globs of glue, not a good thing inside the armature, evidently. So if you're picking one out, by all means, if you want, I will pull every single motor down and you can look through every one of them. And you pick the motor that you wish that you think will do the best and definitely buy it. I don't want to keep you guys limited whatsoever for that. As for alternate modifications coming to the motors and stuff like that, I am looking into that. I don't think you're supposed to be able to do modifications to these motors, but I'm learning stuff new every single day. I've seen where people can take and beat the shaft of the armature, driving in the bushing to the end bale, and that helps the end play a little bit, helps those cars run a little bit better, keeps the brush from sliding all over the place, making a rough contact. So, you know, I reiterate all this to the racers. All the racers out there, they do know all this now. Like I said, I want a good, clean racing environment that everybody's on an equal playing field, and I don't want anything that somebody else can't do. But at the same aspect, I don't want to keep people from doing those specific things either. As if they put in the extra effort to make their cars go faster and it's within the rules, who am I to tell them not to do so? So, I definitely want to do that. Make it to where that they can have their free expression, I suppose you can say. 2 seconds left to go in this heat, and we're ready to roll. Testing here the Indy Car Series here on the oval. So as we can see, the medians there between Glenn Burden and Randy Kirtley all race along, been very, very close. 1.8, 1.77. Garrett and Jay both there in the upper 1 point somethings. Jay now in the 1.9, but turning a time of a 1.846. So we can see that these cars are relatively equal here as we get two cars coming off. Randy and Glenn Burden both. Both of these guys will be going back to the front of the line. Guillermo, of course, there in the upper left-hand portion, didn't know that. When he gets into the next series coming up here, Ohio Valley Dirt Late Model Series coming up next, he will definitely know then, as I will reiterate the rules for him and everyone else. So, what a smooth race we've had so far. Guys getting used to their cars here on the oval. Now going to have to get used to the orange track there. As we see Guillermo there afraid to put the car back on, which he shouldn't, with the new rules stated. Just that little bit of length right there is very, very, very detrimental for these racers, just from the crook of the track to dead man's corner. So. Kind of spread out here a little bit. Down low, Glenn Burden there turning a 1.763, very, very close to Randy's 1.706. As we get a track call here, looks like Jay Latham's coming to the bottom side of Dead Man or High Banks here. So that's going to be very, very detrimental. That's a half a lap loss there for coming off. Now you guys can kind of see how dangerous it is to come off on the oval for sure. .49 seconds left to go, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see the end of this week's race on the Indy Oval. Sorry about that. I wish I had somebody that would control the computer while I talk. I get so sidetracked sometimes. Garrett and Glenn, what a battle they're having right now. Just 2 laps separates these two, and 1 lap now. With 2 seconds left to go here. And it looks like Garrett Burton's going to take home a second position here. All right, congratulations to Randy, Garrett, and Glenn in the Indy car. T, if you don't mind, get a picture of them. First Indy car, first, second, and third. All right, Randy, Garrett, and Glenn, if you don't mind, go to the podium. T's going to get a picture of that. And folks, that's it for the IndyCar race here. And definitely come tune back in. Ohio Valley Dirt Late Model Series coming up at 5 o'clock. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. We can post that up. We don't really need that anymore as we do points wise now. So, but it's good. It's good information to go ahead and post. So hey, this is Donovan here at Lanes Raceway. Check back into us at 5 o'clock. God bless you. Until then, stay safe, and we'll see you back here for Ohio Valley Dirt Late Model at 5.